Remembering Tiffany. Winston Churchill once said, "Success is not final, failure is not fatal, but it is the courage to continue that counts." The courage that Tiffany showed everyone is apparent in the memories and stories that are shared here today. We all share a common friend who will be missed dearly. I'm sure we all share many memories that we could share here today. To name a few, the love she had for caring for her family and the memories she has made with friends and family that will last a lifetime. When I think about Tiffany, the traits that I remember most are her compassionate and loving nature, her attention to detail, and her entertaining personality. Tiffany was very compassionate in her daily life at home and also with friends and coworkers. Tiffany was always a bright, enthusiastic person who loved her family more than she loved herself. She had two beautiful sons that she adored. They were everything to her. Everything she did and every choice she made was for those two boys, Roman and Pierre. When she would talk about her boys, her face would light up with pride and joy. Tiffany, her husband Peter, and the boys would often take family trips together. One of the most memorable trips was when they were able to take their kids to Disney World. That was one memory Tiffany held on to most. She was so proud that she was able to make that trip happen for her family. Tiffany deeply cared about all people around her, especially her close friends. She would always go the extra mile to help out. Tiffany was always the one to give very level-headed advice. If you needed an unbiased opinion, Tiffany was the one to go to. To me, that shows compassion by how much she truly cared about her friends. She always had her friends' best interest at heart. Tiffany was very compassionate in her career. She loved her job very much. Tiffany was a go-to person in her role. She worked at a clinical office where her supervisors and coworkers could always depend on her to get a job done. She was very appreciated and respected by the therapists she worked with, and they will miss her greatly and know that it will be hard to find somebody that works as hard as she does. There was another woman who Tiffany worked side by side 4 days out of the week, Deb. They have grown to truly care about each other. It felt as if they were extended family. Through working so closely every day, they shared a bond that will last a lifetime. Just as much as she was compassionate, she was meticulous in her daily life. Her attention to detail did not go unnoticed in her life at home and in the workplace. Tiffany was very meticulous with everything she did, from picking pumpkins to organizing her daily life at home. When Tiffany had a picture in her mind of the perfect pumpkin, that is exactly what she set out to find. She was determined to make that perfect pumpkin her reality. A story from Tiffany's good friend Valerie. I can only remember of good times spent with her. Picking pumpkins where no matter how much I felt that pumpkin looked exactly the same, she was able to find the uniqueness in each of them. Just like that perfect picture of a pumpkin she had in mind, she also had a perfect image in her mind for her home. With young children in the home, it wasn't always easy to keep everything tidy and organized. She spent countless hours picking up the trails left from her two young children of toys, cups, and snacks. She wouldn't sleep until everything was in its place. Tiffany was overall very meticulous in her demeanor, and you would notice that right off the bat. Although she was meticulous and organized, she was able to loosen up. Her all-around character was someone people wanted to be around. To conclude Tiffany's life in such a short speech is no easy task. Tiffany was many more things than just compassionate and meticulous. She was a woman of many hardships, but today we do not want to grieve her loss, but to remember and celebrate her life. And back to Winston Churchill, this is not the end for Tiffany, for she will live on in spirit with her family and friends.